All right, you guys. Love her or hate her, Candace Owens is one of the most successful independent creators on the internet. And she's proof that an ordinary person armed with little more than a camera, a microphone, and a message can build massive attention, influence, and income online. Today, she has more than 6 million YouTube subscribers, millions of monthly views, and multiple revenue streams. Yet the studio behind all of it is surprisingly simple. So today we're going to reverse engineer how her relatively simple home studio evolved into a multi-million-dollar independent media business. We'll break down her journey, her production style, her studio setup, and perhaps most importantly, how she layered multiple income streams on top of a single YouTube channel. Because whether you agree with her politics or not, Candace Owens is a fascinating case study in what's possible when you combine a simple home studio with a clear message, consistent execution, and a smart business strategy. So let's dive in. All right, Creator Spotlight, Candace Owens. First, I'll give you a big picture overview, then we'll look at her growth trajectory, we'll do studio analysis, then monetization analysis, and finally some takeaways. So big picture first. From 2010 to 2012, Candace Owens spent 3 years in college studying journalism. In 2012, she dropped out of college to become an admin assistant at a private equity firm. In 2015, she became probably the self-appointed CEO of Degree 180, which was a marketing consultation, production, and planning services company, and at that company she produced a blog. In 2017, she started posting political videos on her own YouTube channel, so that's when she really became an independent creator. Possibly as a result of those videos, in 2018, Candace Owens started working at Turning Point USA. In 2019, she began hosting The Candace Owens Show on PragerU's YouTube channel. Then in 2021, due to her growing popularity, she was recruited to host Candace at The Daily Wire, which is owned and operated by Ben Shapiro. Then unexpectedly in 2024, she was fired from The Daily Wire, at which point she resumed her own YouTube channel. And as a result of having worked at Turning Point USA, PragerU, and The Daily Wire, around this time she was getting started with around 1 million subscribers. And now just 2 years later in 2026, she has 6 million YouTube subscribers, 6.3 million followers on Instagram, 7.8 million followers on X, and she produces an estimated $10 million of annual revenue. Now let's have a quick look at her growth trajectory. As I mentioned, here in 2024, she already had about 1.3 million subscribers, and that was the result of having started early and then having a variety of guest hosting spots within different organizations. You can see from 2024 through 2025, that's when her real growth curve began, and it's been fairly steadily increasing all along. Here we see monthly total views, which again in 2024, after she was fired from The Daily Wire, consistently grew month over month. Over here on the right side, we see some estimated income numbers. You see June 7th, 8th, 9th, so this is daily. And again, I believe this is a gross underrepresentation of what she earns. It could merely be an estimate of her AdSense revenue on YouTube though. Notice the daily average is between 2,400 and 6,000 per day, and the weekly average is between 17,000 to 47,000. So that puts the last 28 days, or 1 month, somewhere between $50,000 and $130,000 for the month. Estimated monthly earnings, again probably just from AdSense, is $100,000 a month. Now let's have a quick studio and YouTube channel analysis. If we take a quick look at her YouTube channel, you can see she's got this banner at the top with a few images on it, and this headshot on a white background. When you click on more, you see her description is just 1 sentence. But then she has several links to her various social media accounts. I'm currently viewing her channel on the Edge browser, and notice when I open up the Chrome browser, we see this different blue button right here, and this bar that says Quick Channel Stats. If I bring Edge back, those things aren't there. Those blue elements are a result of me installing the vidIQ Chrome plugin. And what this gives me when I click on this button is a really nice set of channel stats. We see total views, views gained, subscribers, estimated monthly earnings, similar channels, and when you scroll down, you can see views gained and subscribers gained, and you can toggle between 7 days or 30 days, all the way up to a year, and you can get a sense for how many views and subscribers a given channel has gotten. Scrolling further, you see videos published, and if you look at 30 days, you can get a good sense for how many videos any given channel is publishing per month or per day when you click on 7 days like this, and then estimated earnings as well by the day for 7 days, or 30 days, or some custom date range. If I put that away and click on this menu right here, I have an option to view her trending videos or do a CSV export, which would download all of her public video data as a CSV file. And of course, you could feed this into something like an LLM to get insights about the channel to find tips that might help you succeed. When you look at any given video, you've got a whole panel over here on the right from vidIQ that gives you views or an overview, and even this cool AI coach right here that allows you to ask questions about this YouTube channel to, again, learn insights that might help you perform better. I've got this Analyze dropdown where I can analyze comments or analyze the video itself. And on this dropdown, I can add Candace as a competitor in my vidIQ dashboard or do some kind of advanced embedding. So again, sorry for the sidebar, but I really like this vidIQ product because it helps me learn about any given creator much faster. And one other big feature is when you expand the description here and scroll down to the transcript, when you show transcript, you've got this blue vidIQ button that allows you to copy the transcript word for word without all the timestamps. And again, that allows you to paste something like that into an LLM to analyze and get insights very rapidly. If you want to jump into vidIQ for yourself, I put a link in the description and the first comment that will allow you to create an account quickly. Alright, sorry for the sidebar. Clicking on Candace's channel again, you can see on the Videos tab, she's got a number of videos, but most recently she's been going live a lot. So be sure to check out these videos as well. And what I want to draw your attention to when I click on videos is to sort by oldest so you can see the general look and feel of her videos when she first started out. So again, I want to remind you that you don't need to be perfect when you get started here on YouTube. Just get started, because the words you're saying are going to be ingested by the YouTube platform to learn about what your channel is and give YouTube the best shot at finding your audience quickly. So the more you post, once per week or twice per week, the faster and more easily YouTube will be able to understand who you are and who your audience should be. Okay, so now you see where she started, and let's take a listen to one of these videos.
So Black Lives Matter leader just released a list of 10 things white people should give to black people. And I have to say, I haven't been ambitious enough in my letters to Santa.
So you can see the video quality, the lighting, and the microphone is most likely just a webcam from a laptop or potentially even a mobile phone.
My name is Candace Owens. And
we do have a clue here when she opens her eyes that she does have a key light that is in front of her, just above her eye line, slightly to her left side. So you can see more light here and a little bit of shadow here. And you see a reflection of that light here on the windowsill. And if I had to guess, that's probably the only light on in that room right now. So then hitting the back button and scrolling up and clicking on latest, you can see here she's got one camera with two microphones. And if I click into this, we see a solo camera here. And as I slide through, there's another solo camera on her guest, and then a third camera for the wide shot. So that means one camera for the wide shot, one camera pointing at Candace, and one camera pointing at her guest, with two microphones, of course. And if we find the single shots and look at the eyes and shadows, you can see the shadows coming off this plant indicate that the light, again, is coming slightly from her left. But she is evenly lit, so that tells us that there's probably also more of a central light pointing directly at both guests to illuminate them evenly. Now clicking the back button once more and going to her live tab here, if I scroll down and click on any one of these videos,
pets make your family
we of course see the AdWords here, so she's getting paid. When I skip that,
all right, you guys,
and zoom in here a little bit, again, you can see that highlight on her pupils there, indicating that there's one or two lights aimed almost directly at her, but slightly above her eye line. And again, you see the shadow back there on the candle that indicates the lights are coming slightly from her left. Notice again, we've got one SM7DB microphone, and in a previous video, you've heard me talk about the fact that there is a close talking windscreen that almost nobody uses, but I noticed that Candace is using that close talking windscreen. It's a little bit bigger than the normal one. If we grab the scroller and slide through the video, you can see there's a second camera angle from her right side that's a little bit closer up. And here we get a better indication of one light there and then another sort of wide skinny light in addition to that. So the circle is the key light, and the more bar-shaped one is what we would call a fill light. Notice you don't see any obvious highlights on her left side or right side, so we don't have any lights coming in from the back. So again, 2 cameras, 1 microphone, and a computer. That's it. And now real quick here, I have a series of screenshots, and these of course indicate her earlier videos where her quality and thumbnails weren't very good. Here's an example of one of her earliest videos. Again, cooped up in this corner here, no good lighting, lots of ugly shadows. So she didn't care about all that, she just got started and let the YouTube algorithm learn who she was. Then she tried to put a sheet up in the background to look more professional and got some kind of lighting, but you can see it's a little bit harsh. Now she's trying something a little bit more intimate in a different room, and this is the one we looked at, where you can see the light reflecting on the back windowsill there. On this one you can see the word Candace back here, so this would have been her daily wire set. You can see the big professional cameras and all these expensive lights hanging from the sky, so she luckily got a good opportunity to learn about professional production firsthand by being part of these sets. Later on she moved into this room in Nashville, and you can see back here it's fairly sparse, but again, 1 or 2 or 3 lights reflecting in her eyes. And here you can see she's wearing a lapel mic on her shirt. She didn't even have that SM7DB yet. And there's an example of that wireless lapel mic. You can see the camera shots are basically the same as her modern videos though. Then she slowly improved her lighting. She made the white balance a little bit more yellow, so it wasn't as stark and cold as this. But again, more or less the same 2 camera angles. Then moving along, now she has the SM7DB with the close talking windscreen. Same computer, she added some books in the background. And in this shot, the background is a little bit darker, and it feels to me like she has more light coming here from the right side than usual. Again, same 2 camera angles, straight on, and then angled from her right side, just for the sake of variety and making it easier to do cuts if there are mistakes. Moving forward further, I think we see some different books back there now. Nope, same books. But again, notice the inconsistency here. The lighting here is a bit on the yellowy side, with more light here on her right shoulder, whereas here the lighting has gotten more flat and a bit less yellow. Same 2 camera angles, and this is her sharing her screen and reacting to it while she's speaking. Notice the background graphic has the word Candace and her image emblazoned back there. Here's an example of some of her more recent thumbnails, so you get a sense for the consistency and color palette there. And here's one of her more modern videos, where the lighting has gone back to sort of that whitish, clean look. Again, the same 2 camera angles. And here we're seeing a couple of lights from the front, 1 microphone, 1 computer, and that's it. And here's a screenshot of that 2-person setup like we talked about. Simply took her normal microphone and added 1 more, and probably the same lights that she usually uses, and maybe pulled that desk out of the way. Another example of her live thumbnails, which look a little bit different from these non-live thumbnails. So again, if I had to guess, she's got 2 or 3 cameras, 2 microphones, possibly a mixer, a computer where the reaction videos are playing, and then they could take all of these sources and combine, sync, and edit on some kind of a post-production computer to produce the final videos. What I think is really happening though is that they're doing live editing using a streaming platform like StreamYard or possibly Riverside FM. And the way you do that is to connect your microphones and cameras into the computer where the StreamYard software is running, and then a producer would operate the mixer, video switcher, and live stream. So the StreamYard software allows you to toggle between different camera views and even insert pre-recorded videos anytime you want to. And again, Candace might not even have a mixer. She might just be using an audio interface like this, with the microphones going to the audio interface and plugging directly into the computer that has StreamYard on it. Then the 2 cameras are plugged in there as well, and then like I said, the producer can simply use the StreamYard software to switch between camera views anytime they want to. Taking a quick look at her live stream composition, she usually has an intro for about 1.5 minutes, then they play a quick intro video that lasts about 15 seconds, then she talks about topic 1, switching between 2 different cameras, then there is a segment of sponsored ads, which lasts for 3 minutes, so 3 ads times 60 seconds each, and again, those are all pre-recorded. So she speaks, they run a series of pre-recorded ads, then she speaks again for topic 2, 15 minutes, and then 2 sponsored ads, again pre-recorded, then topic number 3 for about 7 minutes, then she reads comments from the previous day's live video, and sometimes even from the current live video. And then for about 2 minutes at the end, she will promote her merchandise and products, directing people to go to her website to sign up and get value there. Now the reason I have this one in the red box is because potentially this is the only one she's actually doing live. And what I mean by that is when you use StreamYard, you could conceivably pre-record all of these segments and even potentially reuse different blocks of sponsored ads, even if her wardrobe is different than the wardrobe she's currently wearing in this video. So my point there is they could work all day to record these various segments and string them all together, and then to make it seem live, she could pop in for this one 10-minute section to read video comments they've been looking at as these different pre-recorded segments were playing in her quote-unquote live video. So again, it's possible she could be doing all of these things live with pre-recorded ads, but again, using StreamYard gives you the flexibility to pre-record everything and only pop in live here and there when you want to. And again, if you want to take a look at StreamYard, I've put a link to that in the description and the first comment as well. So now let's take a look at the monetization. As I just mentioned, in this final segment, she's talking about, hey, go to my website and buy my products, whether it's t-shirts or mugs or the book club membership she has and so on. So she absolutely has this internet income engine model working exactly as I described in a previous video. All of those different social media platforms have her content that is mentioning her website to get people on her email list so she can get them to a product page and check out and pay and make money. And then she also has email marketing where she is sending value in emails and again encouraging and reminding people to go buy her products. The important takeaway from this video is the realization of how many layers she has of her monetization. She is absolutely monetized and making YouTube AdSense money. Due to the nature of her topics though, there is a chance that that could go away. YouTube could potentially demonetize her channel. People also pay her super thanks in YouTube, but she also has a button on her website that just allows people to send her money, fan funding. And like it says here, she talks about that in her videos and her website. She absolutely does sponsored posts, and that's what I'm talking about here. 3 sponsored posts of 60 seconds each. 2 sponsored posts for 60 seconds each. And these could potentially be $50,000 per ad. So she is definitely making money every time she makes a video on sponsored posts. She's doing affiliate links on both her videos and her website. She has her own digital products on her website, and she also advertises live appearances on her website. So look at all those layers of monetization. And again, another important takeaway is all of these items in yellow are operating on her own platform. Only these first 2 are on YouTube. So if for some reason YouTube decides to demonetize her, she still has the ability to make money all these different ways. So think ahead when you're creating your own strategy. And now for some takeaways. Candace Owens has proved you do not need a college degree or to be an expert to win as an independent creator. Just get started and be consistent. The safest platform is the one you own. Go ahead and collaborate and partner and distribute all you want, but having your own space will make you uncancelable. And remember, you can still get demonetized, so you should always have your own platform-independent income streams. Have a passionate, authentic voice and be willing to stand behind it. Strong opinions won't always make you popular, but clarity and consistency creates attention and trust. Conviction is a creative asset. Have clear beliefs and speak them consistently. People who relate to them will watch. As we've learned from Candace Owens' setup, you don't need lots of equipment. And also, editing doesn't have to be clever or elaborate, and you can even do live editing using StreamYard as we talked about. And maybe most importantly, establish multiple revenue-generating capabilities on your own platform. And finally, don't think of your studio as an expense. Think of it as the engine that can power your entire business. One camera, one microphone, one message, unlimited potential. The main lesson here is that we're living in a time where an ordinary person can build an extraordinary business with a camera, a microphone, a message, and the discipline to keep showing up. Candace didn't become successful because she had the best gear. She became successful because she consistently created content that people wanted to watch and then built multiple ways to turn that attention into income. That's the part I hope you remember. Don't obsess over having the perfect camera. Don't wait until your home office looks like a television studio. Remember that just like Candace, you don't need permission from a publisher, a television network, or some big company to make an impact. Start with what you have. Get your message out into the world. Then, as your audience grows, move beyond YouTube AdSense as quickly as you can. Build an email list, create digital products, launch a membership or a community. Develop multiple ways to serve the people who trust you. Because views are great and subscribers are great, but building a business that you own is even better. If you enjoyed this breakdown, let me know in the comments which independent creator you'd like me to reverse engineer next. I'd love to turn this into a series where we analyze the studios, the production quality, the growth strategies, and the business models behind some of the world's most successful creators, so we can all learn from what's working. And if your goal is to build a professional home studio without wasting thousands of dollars on gear you don't actually need, click the link in the description to sign up for my free monthly webinar so we can get down to business. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.